So anyway, you were telling me about those high security locks on your villa.
Oh God, is that what they're doing? Oh, so for those who've got no fucking idea what Johnny Boy's on about, the villa I'm at,
Johnny Boy.
so stupid. I hate it. To get into the villa, it's not a key. It's a number pad, and there's a silly little flick on it that means if you flick it down, you can't get in no matter what. But it's so stupidly designed because you can turn that on and then leave the house, and then no one can get in no matter what. And this happened to me. I think my cleaner accidentally turned it on. At the very least, I'm going to blame the cleaner because there's no way I'm going to take that responsibility. No fucking way. But I managed to break in this secure lock with 3 bank cards. High security. So, yeah, I feel very safe.
Yeah, I bet you do. Because you wouldn't want some great big hunky Indonesian breaking in, would you?
No, I don't think they exist.
Someone who spotted you from the gym.
Well, they might be big to you, but they're all short asses around here, so I feel like an absolute king amongst men. But yes, my high security villa is super secure and safe. So much so that if I turn on the super secure safe mode, you can break in with just 3 bank cards.
I don't know. So, you've been a holiday for 2 weeks, haven't you?
I wouldn't exactly call it a holiday. I'd say entertaining the family whilst trying to grab an hour of work here and there. I've had father from England, brother from Australia, who all turned up at the gaff for 2 weeks, and we're like, right, Connor, what are we going to do for 2 weeks? And entertaining ain't fun. I now understand why you've got certain rules about visitors and whatnot.
Yeah, I can't imagine anyone dropping around to see me. They wouldn't be welcome anyway.
Yeah, putting together itineraries. Oh, we got to go here, got to go there. Everyone looking to you for the daily plans, and you're just like, oh, fucking no. Oh, it's exhausting. Sitting down to do some work, like, right, guys, need to get a couple of hours in. Not. Where's the milk, Connor? In the fridge. Where else is it going to be? That was so bloody stupid. Have a look in the fridge for the fucking milk. So, yeah, but they've all gone. And then I had to go do a visa run, and that was particularly terrifying.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Okay.
Why did you do these things yourself?
Okay, so just in case, it's not a visa run, if you know what I mean. There was a legitimate trip for business to Malaysia for 24 hours, had an important meeting, and just so coincidentally meant I could extend my visa over here. But the immigration officers weren't best pleased with me. And John, I'll tell you what, it was a proper... Well, they didn't believe that it was an official business trip. They believed it was a visa run, which it wasn't. Definitely not.
Of course it wasn't. I don't know why they'd think that.
No, my passport showing the other visa runs I've done that definitely aren't evidence towards that. But, oh, mate, John, that was butt twitchy. My arsehole was winking at 1,000 knots an hour. That was not pleasant.
What's going to happen though? I mean, seriously, what could be the consequences of that?
Worst case scenario is they just turn you around and send you on the next flight back to England.
Right.
So,
and that would be without Tamsin, I presume, or with Tamsin. She was with you, was she?
With Tamsin, she was with me, but all of our gear was at the villa, and they wouldn't say, "Oh, you're allowed to come back and grab all your gear." So.
Well, this is the lines if you move fucking backwards to third world country, isn't it?
Yeah, and
if you're so fucking determined to be so bohemian.
But that was so scary that 10 minutes they held me questioning, and I was just very short, very blunt. Why are you in Bali? Relax. Why are you in Malaysia? Holiday. What do you do for work? Consultant. Where do you work? Online. Just one word answers, giving them absolutely nothing.
So who was this? This was the people in Bali, was it?
Yes, the immigration officers.
But surely don't they know that you're? I don't get. Don't they know you're here for work?
My visa is 3 months, and to refresh it, to get a new visa, you have to leave the country.
Yeah.
So I did that, but they don't like that. It's a very idiotic system. No,
they don't like you doing what you have to do.
Yeah, but they see it as because they see it as circumventing getting a resident visa, and I've been here for a certain period of time now, where they're like,
"Oh God,
maybe you should have this visa, not that visa. You've used this particular visa several times now. You should probably have the other one." Their big fear is with immigration is boulets, white people. They call them boulets, which is racist, by the way. Yeah.
Because you want.
Exactly. Their fear is that I'm coming over here and illegally developing on land and conducting relatively high-level business to do with the colonization of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a fucking wannabe marketer.
No, that's very kind.
You're a fucking influencer.
Oh, God. Furthest thing from. So that's their big fear. So that's why they were questioning me quite hard about what I do for work. But I made it through, and I'm here. I'm safe. I'm sound.
Yeah, but until the next time. Because you only got 3 months. You need another fucking visa.
Yeah, but I'll be smarter this time. I won't be so blasé about it, and I'll make sure I have a different, more relevant, longer stay visa.
I was going to say, why don't you get the right visa? I think it's fucking job done, isn't it? Oh, come on. What do we teach people? Right tool for the fucking job.
Yeah. And I did the right thing for the right job.
What you're effective... No, it's not. What you're effectively doing is you're doing what business owners do with social media. You're saying, oh yeah, I just don't want to do this because it's easy and convenient and cheap, rather than use the right tool for the job and do something that's a bit more demanding.
It's no cheaper. No. So no, it's not even easier. Well, it is easier. To get this longer term visa, you have to be offshore. And the problem was that it was a one night stay. If I went from Bali, because the original plan was to go to Bali, visit my brother in Australia for a week, and then come back to Bali, and that would be completely okay. Their problem was the fact it was 24 hours, just asinine, archaic, backwards, draw a line in the sand and make a decision rules, which sums this place up quite often. That was the original plan. My brother said, don't come to Australia. I've got it was like, you should have said this earlier. Anyway, it's pissing down with rain. It's fucking cold, and I've got a 1-bedroom apartment, so you can't even stay with me. Why'd you let us stay in the fucking first place? But anyway. So the plan was to come over here because we've got a nicer place. That meant we had to go do a strategic business meeting, not the other words I said earlier, in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, which they don't like. They don't like the 24-hour turnaround. So next time, yes, when I'm offshore and I'm in England, coincidentally with the next elite, I will be getting the proper visa, which means I can stay here for 6 months, no questions asked.
Sounds so fucking complicated. I mean, compare that with when I moved to Ireland. I just came here. That was it. You get a PPS number, which is like a national insurance number, but I'm the Irish one. And that is the key to like bank accounts and then your tax registration and everything else. It's...
Yeah.
We even brought a fucking Rottweiler over.
Yeah,
so Ollie was convinced they were going to fucking euthanize him because the paperwork was wrong. And all they said was, oh, he's a big boy, isn't he?
Yeah. Off you go.
Off you go, yeah. Got far to go, yeah, about 3.5 hours. Oh, better not keep you any longer, have I? That was immigration in Ireland. Well, that was when it brought Holly over. When I came 17 years ago, it was even fucking easier. It didn't have to be a single thing. Didn't have to show a passport or a driving license. Just turned up in my car.
In you come.
Yeah, it was... Right, because it's a common travel area, you see, with England.
Mm.
I remember during Brexit, people panicking, oh, we have to fucking wait in line, it's really difficult. It's no fucking different. I knew it wouldn't be. I mean, there's hundreds of years of history between England and Ireland. I mean, if they start putting up barriers, it's just going to get...
There'll be trouble.
Oh, it's just so difficult. It costs so much money, and it's just no point. It's just, there's no more difficult than going to another part of England. It really isn't.
Well, I'm envious of how simple it is and was for you.
Well, if you must move to a fucking backward third world despotic country where you regularly can't go outdoors for 24 hours or turn the bloody lights on, that's...
I'll be back in England one day. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, as you can probably tell, I'm very relaxed this morning. Do you know why?
Tell me.
There's two reasons. The first is I did this fucking brutal cardio from Toby.
Lovely Toby.
Oh, it was the warm-up for 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes. And it was 2 lots of heart rate at about 75% of max. So it was 2 lots of those for 4 minutes, beg your pardon. So 4 minutes on, 3 minutes off, 4 minutes on, 3 minutes off. It was about 75%. And then it was the red zone overload training. Ooh. 4 minutes at about 95% maximum heart rate. And 3 minutes cool down. And 4 more minutes at 95% maximum heart rate. Oh, fuck. But here's the thing, right? I don't, because I'm alexithymic, I don't get the euphoria and the rush that other people get from working out. But what I have got, and what I do get, is a real sense of satisfaction knowing I've done something that most men, right, every man should be able to do that. But most men, even half my age, can't.
Yeah.
And the thing is, even my doctor, Dr. Kelly, she said to me, when she took my blood pressure and it was like spot on, she said, it's mostly genetics. So I didn't argue with her because it'd be pointless. But she's wrong. Because it's really strange how the harder I work and the more disciplined I am with my health and fitness, the better my genetics get. It's incredible, you know? And it just comes down to discipline. That's all it comes down to. It's discipline and hard work.
I've been listening to, I can't even remember what it's fucking called. Ryan Holiday's, one of his latest books. I believe it's called Discipline is Destiny or
Discipline is Destiny.
Yeah.
Discipline is Destiny.
I've been listening to that recently. It's an interesting little book. It's definitely, it's not like his other books that felt a little bit more tangible. That it very much feels a little bit more like a motivation book. But some of the stories are incredible.
My son bought it for me. It's actually in the kitchen. I think Holly's been reading it. It's in the kitchen this morning, funny enough. I got around to reading it. It's a really little fucking small hardback, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a small...
I hate hardbacks. I really fucking hate hardbacks.
Do you?
No, I like a paperback. I mean, I mostly use my Kindle because my hands are fucked, but I use a Kindle. But I mean, it is all it comes down to. I'll go down to Dunnes, my local supermarket. I'll walk around the town. And I mean, I've said this before, but it's worth repeating because it doesn't change. I see men in their late 20s, early 30s, vastly overweight. And it's not even unusual anymore. When I was at school, you had the fat kid at school. There was probably one in the school. The fat kid. Now, there's lots of fat kids in the school.
No, it's the thin kid.
Yeah, the thin kid, yeah. Well, that normal kid who gets fucking normal shame.
Oh, that little fucker. He can run.
Fat, overweight blokes walking through town. And, you know, they're not all morbidly obese, but they're just chubby and unfit and puffing and blowing. And I get eyed up by their wives and girlfriends, which is fucking brilliant because the blokes look death at their girlfriends and wives and look death at me as well. But it's not my fault. It's a choice you're making, mate. Because I'm in great fucking shape. And it comes down to choices. And that's all it is. Choices and hard work. Now, Jim Rohn said you will feel one of two pains in your life, especially at the end of it. You'll feel the pain of discipline, or you'll feel, and this is the one at the end of the life, or you'll feel the pain of regret. You choose.
Pain either way.
So, and now, if we segue into marketing, because that's really what we do, marketing and sales and getting business. Business owners, they won't, not can't, but they won't embrace and face and accept the pain of discipline. And by that, I mean doing the fucking work to get clients, doing uncomfortable things. I had a sales call with a guy booked up recently. And the first one he postponed because, I'm on site. I don't want to be interrupted. Fair enough. But it was at short notice, which is a bit annoying. The same day, I think it was. Then the second one he booked 2 weeks out. We had plenty of time planned for it. This was on the Friday. He messaged me, again, not long before the call, and said, I'm on a plane to Germany to watch football. Soz kind of thing. And then he booked a third call. Well, I cancelled that call, and my message was very simple. 2 short notice postponements don't bode well for a working relationship. I hope you get your problem sorted out. And that's it, because you know as well as I do, and people listen to this might think that's a bit harsh. Well, maybe, but that's my choice, not yours. But we know from experience that he would have been a terrible client because we would have perhaps booked him in for meetings to help mentor him along, or important meetings to get direct mail and things signed off and sorted out. And I'm too busy, I'm on site, I'm doing this. Haven't had time to look at things. Well, that's fine, that's your choice. But the pain you would now feel is the pain of regret. Because he had one big client who was finishing with a contract with him imminently, and he's got nothing else lined up and no real way to get any more. So he will feel the pain of regret, I'm sure, because he didn't have the pain, he wouldn't embrace the pain of discipline. If that had been me, and my business was in that situation, I'd have probably been inclined not to go to fucking Germany and sort my business out. But that's just a choice. Of course, I'm not saying he did the wrong thing. He did the right thing for himself. But pain of discipline or pain of regret, which one do you want? Which one are you going to choose? Believe me, when I woke up this morning and I checked my recovery score, it was what? Hang on. My heart rate recovery was 94%, I think. Which is good on a Tuesday, because this is my workout day the day before. I knew Toby had got something unpleasant in store for me because of the high recovery rate. And he had. And I had to work so hard, it knocked 9 points off my recovery.
Wow. What a cunt. How dare he?
Well, he said to me the other day, this style of workout, he said, I did the first one a little while ago, a few weeks ago. He said, you've earned this kind of workout because you've got the strong foundation of cardiovascular fitness. So anyone could do this. These guys, these overweight guys in their 20s and 30s, they could do it. It'd take them a long while because they're in shit state. But hey, this, in a year's time, the time will pass anyway, and they will either be still overweight, probably more so, or they will be leaner on their way to being fit. The time will pass anyway. It's their choice. In the same way as in your business, in a year's time, you will either have a reliable, robust, predictable marketing and sales system in place, or you won't. The time will pass anyway. Most people listening to this, most people we speak to, I was going to say most people I see on social media, but I haven't logged into LinkedIn for several weeks now. I don't miss it at all. So I'm actually officially off all social media, and it's great. But those people, in a year's time, they'll be coming out with the same complaints about the same things for the same reasons, and it will be worse because of their continued indolence. A few will take action, will speak to us, will call us, come on board with us, get things sorted, but most just won't. We know this is true. It could be depressing if you didn't realise that it's just human nature.
There's a couple of things I want to say to that. There's first, I can't remember whose quote it is. I don't know why it always hit me right in between the eyes. It's one of those things that whenever it springs back into my mind, I'm like, right, get back to fucking work. And it's hell is where you meet the person that you could have become if you tried a little harder. And that always hits me right in between the eyes because I'm like, right, that sounds pretty fucking terrible because it immediately gives me this vision of me in a council house, a fucking fully detached 2-bed council house with like 5 kids in 2 bedrooms, and they're all in bunk beds and shit. I've got a shitty old Ford Fiesta on the drive. I'm fucking fat and overweight. The fridge is full of Stella cans. My neighbour's Nigel, who I go to the pub with all the time. My wife is covered in black and blue. And then I get this other vision, which is everything that I want. And I don't know why that quite always just makes me think, fuck, if you don't put the work in, you're going to be that geezer in the council flat battering his wife in a vest with fucking a belly full of Stella.
Yeah. The funny thing is that the people who live those lives, I said it, I was laughing with Holly this morning about this. They'll claim they've got degrees from the University of Life.
Oh, it's amazing.
Fuck, you know. I often go up to, every few months I go up to Dublin to see my hormone testosterone replacement doctor, Dr. Farrell. And just coincidentally, the way I drive into Dublin from the south, I go down a road called the Crumlin Road. Now, the Crumlin Road is famous for being a shithole. I think there was a lot of trouble there, over the years. I think it's Crumlin Road. Anyway, I drive down there, and every time I've probably done it half a dozen times in the last couple of years now. Every time I drive down it, it's the same story. And I will see overweight women in either pajamas or shell suits, tracksuits.
Nice.
In flip-flops.
Nice.
Lank, greasy hair.
Nice.
Walking down the pavement with a child, an overweight child on each hand.
Nice.
Going down to the corner shop. Probably to buy fucking today's cans of Carl's burgers or cheap line.
Yeah. And some Campbell's soup for the kids.
It's a fucking cliche. I know it's a cliche. But cliches exist for a reason. So do stereotypes. And I'm thinking, that could so easily be me. I was thinking the other day, actually. As you know, I'm 60 in January. And it so happens that at least one, probably two, and maybe even all three of my pensions I've had over the years, I can start drawing them. And I know for a fact I can start drawing one. But the most important one is my BT pension, because that started when I was 17 and ran for 15 years before I left. So it's probably quite a sizable sum. And I think I can start drawing that when I'm 60. But anyway, I was thinking, I looked on LinkedIn several weeks ago, and I saw that at least one of the guys I started with as an apprentice, Jonathan Sharman, has retired from BT recently. I think he was taking early retirement. He's a little bit younger than me. He was at least a year younger than I am. And it really fucking struck me that he's retired. What would I be like if I'd stayed in BT and stayed in that kind of employee mindset? Because BT is one of these companies, it's a good place to work for, but it took people's lives over. It's the BT Sports and Social Club. Everything was BT.
Kind of like IBM.
I guess so, yeah. So that's not me. And I'd imagine if I'd stayed there, if I hadn't divorced my first wife, Beverly, which kind of changed everything, really, I would probably be an overweight, balding, as in shit hairdo, comb over, middle-aged man living in probably a fairly nice house around in Ipswich somewhere. I call it, man. That's terrifying what I could have been. And I don't mean that in a good way. I could have been more. I know I could. And I've still got years left, presumably. I can still make more of myself. But I could have also been, I've done pretty well. I could have been so much fucking less.
That archetype, I believe in Japan they call it a salaryman. And it's a very sad archetype. In England, it's kind of celebrated, that middle class greatness.
Yeah.
It's still celebrated, but in Japan, it's very much it's seen with sadness. Seen very much.
Yeah,
it has the highest rate of suicide. All of those,
because I left BT in 1997, and although I stayed pretty corporate, I became a contractor. But I was a contractor in the city, fucking great money, but it was still very corporate. Software engineer. And then after 9/11, and everything went tits up, I then got a job, again, contracting at Porton Down for the Ministry of Defence, which is all I'm going to say about it. It's fucking brilliant. And then my second wife left me for another bloke.
Nice.
And I just gave it up. And that's when I started self-employed. I mean, I was self-employed as a contractor, but it wasn't really disguised employment. Yeah. Then I started off as a freelancer in about 2000. When was 9/11? 2001, 2002. It was just after 9/11. Within months. 2000. And then I...
2001, yes.
Yeah, so it would have been early 2002 because the firm we were contracting for just cancelled our contracts because bottom dropped out of the technology market. So I was unemployed for 3 months, then got this job down in Portland Down. So that'd have been about the March time, I guess, April. And by the October, I was a single man again. I just gave it up, I think. Might have been a year later, I can't remember now. But anyway, it was more than 20 years ago. And that's when things really changed. Everything changed. I started listening to Jim Rohn, Nightingale, Dan Kennedy, and thoughts a bit, because you said, I don't know about anyone else, but I was having thoughts, but I had nowhere to go with them, because I thought, this ain't right. All this is wrong, but I don't know what the truth is. And of course, back then, the internet wasn't anything like it is now. The resources were
very different.
And finding that kind of direction was hard. Finding people like Earl Nightingale and Jim Rohn was hard. But once I had, fucking hell, everything just went meteoric. So it's amazing, really. I could have been a little fucking fat man with like Frank Cannon off the TV series. But I'm not. I'm the evil bold genius. Yeah. That would have been so easy. That would have been easier. Yeah, that would have been the pain of no discipline. Oh, right, yeah, that would have been the ease of no discipline, because getting to BT, and I mean, when I joined in 1984, that I was told it's no longer a job for life, but it fucking was if you wanted it.
Yeah.
I could have had a job for life easy.
Mm-hmm. It is easy, right? Yeah, it is easy.
Well, there's the story of Hercules, isn't there? He's got the two paths, the easy one and the hard one, and he chooses the hard one because it's hard. Bit like Kennedy going to the moon, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. That's why I get up at 6 a.m. I mean, lying in bed would be easy. Getting up this morning when it started to be dark in the mornings, it wasn't chilly, but it was dark. Looking at my phone, Toby set me this fucking god-awful thing to do, and I'm thinking, I really don't want to do this. And I'm stiff from listening to this workout. It would have been so easy to say, oh, it hurts too much, I'm too tired, I'll do it later, or won't do it at all, give me a break today. But I didn't. Sat on that bike, did fucking brutal workout at 95% maximum heart rate. And that's why I look like I do and I'm fit and other people are not.
And as Toby rightfully pointed out, you've earned that workout. And in many ways, I don't want to use the word privilege, but I'm struggling for another one. But it's almost a privilege you can do that. You're able-bodied to go away and achieve something that most people can't. Yes, you've put the work in to be able to achieve that level. But one day you won't be able to do that again. And oftentimes when we're stuck with hard decisions, difficult roads ahead, things that we perhaps in a preferential world we wouldn't want to do, sometimes you've got to realise you're lucky that you can do it, whether that's because you've got an internet connection when others don't. And reminding yourself of those little things can sometimes help you get over the perceived speed bumps that you can see ahead.
Yeah, I was talking to my coach. No, it wasn't my coach. Who was it? It was Dylan. It was my daughter's boyfriend about this. Because as you know, there's serious shit going on in my family.
Yes.
Which you wouldn't wish upon anyone. Cannonball. No. It's not my health. I'm fine. But it's the kind of stuff that most people... Well, it's the kind of thing, as Vicky has said, Vicky, my coach, most people probably couldn't deal with and stay safe. But hey, I'm a stoic. I can. Again, the discipline. But I was saying to Dylan, because he was saying how difficult it could be, and I was saying, look, the way I look at it is this. I could be, and there will be people in exactly the same situation with the same challenges, but they're also ill. Or maybe they're living in Gaza or the Ukraine, and they're ill.
Yeah.
Things are worse than they were 2 years ago, but they could be a damn sight worse. So I'm very grateful for things not being worse than they are.
Yeah.
And Vicky says that's an amazing mindset. Well, I don't know. I don't take any credit for it because I don't really know any other way to be. He's like, it's not like it's an effort. It's natural. We need to get a moving because I've got shit to do. I've got direct mail to handwrite. really enjoy doing.
And he says sarcastically.
Hate handlers.
But hey,
Hurt.
discipline, mate.
Bad at it. Hey?
Discipline, eh?
Pain of discipline.
Discipline. So what's the one sentence summary of what we've just gone on about for half an hour?
Get off your ass. You'll be dead soon enough.
Yeah.
You're dead.
Memento mori. You're going to die. Stop thinking you're so precious that, I'm scared of it. We'll fucking do it anyway.
As Earl Nightingale pointed out, he passed on a quote from someone, I don't remember who it was. The quote is, "In a life where death is inevitable, why worry about anything at all?" It ain't a question of if you're going to die, it's just a matter of when.
I tell you what, worry is very self-indulgent. Recently, I made it as a seer of the cold calling. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Just every time it got round to that time on the calendar, I'd find any excuse not to do it, until one day I realised, you're being so self-indulgent. What are you scared of? What's the worst that can really happen? You get told to fuck off. So I set myself a very small goal. You're just going to make one call. And that one call turned into calling everyone that I needed to call on my list. But it was that realization, you're being a fucking self-indulgent, slightly arrogant little precious princess here. So pull your socks up, lace your boots, and get to fucking work.
Most people won't do it, which means for those who will, the rewards are waiting for you. All right, we need to go. So, what do the people need to do?
What do they need to do? Email us if you've got any interest in working with us. That's the weakest call to action ever, isn't it?
Paid by numbers done with you, sales and marketing system, bring you the best clients reliably and predictably, and then close them on your high-end services, getting paid up front, getting paid more, and not working for free. How about that? Holly@wellfedbusiness.com.
See you later, shaggers.
Bye.